Let's go to Josh in California. Josh, you're on the line.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Before I make my remarks, I'd like to make a preface. I don't always agree with everything you and Alex say, but I do agree with a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And I think you guys are doing the right thing. And I'm glad that I was sitting in front of the computer and heard this thing about this deputy. I'm a former MP, military police. Mm-hmm. Okay, when I was trained to do traffic stops, I was told that when you pull somebody over, you identify yourself. So if it's you, you're the MP, you would say, I'm Sergeant Bermas with such and such a post, military police. The reason why I stopped you is because you were doing whatever, and is there a reason why you're doing this? Now, if there's a medical emergency, you provide an escort. You ask if there's a reason why, because people will get scared, and they'll sit there and they'll flip out, and somebody next to them could be having a baby, dying, or have some other sort of medical problem. And they won't say anything a lot of the time because they're intimidated. And you should make them comfortable so that they can say, look, yes, I'm having a medical problem. I need an escort. You're there to provide that service. And this guy is a disgrace. And I don't know who that guy was who was saying that if this is a training. That was nonsense. Mm-hmm. I mean, I completely...
No, it was his supervisor basically saying that, no, the deputy had a lot of things to think about. And we just don't have protocol for this. And, we'll look into it. But really, this is a split-second decision. Meanwhile, it's a dying woman in the back. I don't know if you have PrisonPlanet.tv, but if you saw the person that was driving, he's anything but intimidating. Quite frankly, he's an overweight, 50-plus-year-old male who looked desperate just in the interview. I mean, it's just disgusting, the mentality of some of these police. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. And the only split-second decisions you have to make as an officer are presentation of deadly force and use of deadly force. Everything else, you pretty much have some time to react. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to make a split-second decision on making a ticket. That is utter nonsense. And that supervisor should be fired as well. I mean, both of them are disgraceful. And if either of those people worked with me, whether I was under them or over them, I would spend a better part. In fact, that's why I'm not an MP anymore. I met a few bad people, and I made their lives a little bit more miserable than I think they would have liked, and I ended up deciding that wasn't for me.
But then let's talk about that, sir. I mean, some people like the power. They gravitate to it, and then they get away with something, and they go a little more, and they get away with that, and they do a little bit more, and then they get a thirst for power and authority, and they literally, their egos get out of control, and you give people like that power. That's why we have torture. That's why we have rape. That's why these abuses continue. That's why, we have cops attacking EMTs. People's egos can get out of control when they are given just that little taste of power. Wouldn't you agree?
Unfortunately, there are some people that are like that. And when I first went in, I had a good sergeant who pulled me aside and explained this to me. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, when you first hold up your arm and a car stops, you're going to get a sense of power. And it's up to you to have the integrity to continue to do your job. You're of the troops and for the troops.
Well, I wish more people had integrity like you, sir, and were really peace officers, and they were there to serve and protect like they should be. We'll be back after this. It's the InfoWarrior.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at InfoWars.com. Look for Max, the orange home gain gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com, HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Gotta make a plan, gotta do what's right. Can't run around in circles if you wanna build a life. But I don't wanna make a plan for a day far away. While I'm young and while I'm able, all I wanna do is...
We are back. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas. We're going to shoot through some more of your calls. 866-582-9933. And in the next segment, I'm going to play this We Are Change New York clip where Manny Badillo talks to the current senator of New York, the replacement for Hillary Clinton, where she says that she would be for a 9/11 investigation. Manny does tell her that, he is a family member. His uncle who died in the World Trade Center was really the mentor and pillar of his family. Really touching stuff. I've spent some time with Manny. He's a really good guy, and I just love the fact that he keeps fighting on despite all obstacles. Like I said, he's hopefully going to be on the program with Luke Radowski tomorrow night. And then I want to play this clip, again, to show we do have power. If we stand up and say no enough, they stop, they pull back. You know, they take a little bit more time. I know they keep incrementally pushing forward, but each time they push, we have to push twice as hard back. And then when they are saying you have to register your ammunition, it's time to push back. All right, let's go to Connor in New Jersey. Connor, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason.
How you doing?
Yeah. I want to get my story straight on the drills that are going to be happening from July.
Are you talking about the NLE Exercise 09?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, are the public not going to be allowed in the area, or?
Well, they'll probably hire actors to play the parts of, dissidents or terrorists or, angry quarantine people. But on top of that, the public are going to have to be involved because this is FEMA Region 6. We're talking about, I think it's 5 or 6 full states that are going to be running these drills. And with the amount of people that are running them, for instance, and plus the private sector is going to be involved, all local government is going to be involved. So really at some level, your county commissioner, your city councilman, your mayor, your sheriff, they're going to have to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Now, does this mean they're going to do checkpoints? I don't know. I don't know exactly how this whole drill is going down, other than the fact that it is a mass spying drill that is using DHS and FEMA. And again, this is a first-timer. This is to prevent a terrorist attack. After a terrorist attack happens overseas, this is an international exercise with Australia, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Mexico taking part, as well as the private sector. So you got to wonder, are they going to bring in Blackwater, or are they just going to use telecommunications from the local, AT&T? I suspect they're going to do a lot of this stuff, and they're going to probably have plainclothes security officers. So I don't know how they are going to restrict public access to a drill this large. However, I think there will be restricted access in some of the more hardcore areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything else, Connor?
One thing that's a little off topic.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing different stories on swine flu. They're downplaying it or they're hyping it up.
Hyping it up, man. Listen, it ain't downplaying it. All those people that are saying they're downplaying the swine flu, they have no evidence. They have their own agenda. I'm sorry. They're always looking for the next big thing. They're hyping things up. They're trying to make it all about them. They have the inside information. What I've done and what Alex has done from the very beginning is take the mainstream news sources, just what's around us, how many people are actually sick. Remember, Texas is supposed to be one of the leading states with the swine flu. I haven't seen one person with a paper mask on. And, if you look at all the propaganda out there, the people that are dying already have pre-existing conditions. The real fear of the swine flu is that they're going to forcefully inoculate us because of it, or declare a level 6 worldwide if, during flu season they're able to trick people into thinking it's back and it's hardcore, and we need this pandemic level 6. Then start getting worried, because then mandatory vaccinations happen, mandatory off-site drugs, they can quarantine you. And I'm just reading their own government documents. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope it doesn't come to the fact that they try to say that you need to take this 3-spot shot, and we've played that off the Today Show. So anybody who's telling you, oh, this is going to mutate, this is the end of the world, this is the plague, well, if I'm wrong, may lightning hit me in a month, man. I'm sorry. I don't see that happening. I think it's Johnny nonsense. I think you have to be very wary of people that will jump on that bandwagon. This is the most deadly virus we've ever seen. No, it's not. Again, they did this in the 70s to see how many people they could inoculate. And then they really the CIA released its sister virus, African swine virus, in Cuba. So, this has op spelled all over it. One of the leading guys said, it would be explained very easily if it came out of a lab. But remember, if it came out of a lab, it was accidental. They never do it on purpose because they love us. We'll be back after this. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas, PrisonPlanet.tv, my little bloggy bloggins, theinfowarrior.com.